Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's Eastern player, then working our way westward, we have in Barbie Pig, Psycho Ad as a Seraphim for this match. He is an 1800. To his west in Stitch Blue is the UEF commander of Rick. He is a 1300. To his northwest, we have in Royal Blue Plunder as the rearguard airsoft player for Team 1. He is a 1700. To his southwest in Chevy Crimson, we have the Cybern player of Mab 7119. He's playing as a Cybern as well as a 1400. And last but not least, for Team 1 on the western side of the map here, we have in glow in the dark green Azuros as a UEF. He is a 2100, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. So Team 1's lineup consists of 2 UEF, 2 Cyberns, and 1 Seraphim, which means Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. Starting off with Team 2's Western player and then working our way eastward, we have in Tropical Ocean Blue Furfur as an Aeon, the one and not the one and only of the match, excuse me. He is a 1700. To his east in Orange, the color orange, is the Cybern player of JFK. He is a Cybern as a 1400. In the rearguard air slot here for Team 2, we have in Snow White Katsu as a UEF. He is a 1600. To his northwest in Lightest Red Pink is Craig Marine. He is a Cybern for this match as a 1500. And last but not least here for Team 2 in Regal Purple is Drimmer as an Aeon. He is a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2. So for Team 2's lineup, they have 2 Aeons, 2 Cyberns, 1 UEF. Team 2 lacks Seraphim technology. Team 1, as a reminder, lacks Aeon technology. And for 10 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at 55,000 mass not per player, but in total, which means it is 5.5k mass per player. Most of it is along the middle of the map here. Large groups of 6,000 plus mass, kind of flanked next to a couple of 4,500s, 3,700s. Most, if not, 90+% of the mass is in this just straight line across the middle. We do see a couple of hundreds in the back line. In terms of mass point layouts, we'll take a look at Team 2's side of the map. There is 1, 2, 3 quad mechs positions with a 6-ish star mechs back here. And it looks like another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just say that's 6-star mechs position back there. Trimex position in the rear as another one is right there next to a Furfur. We do see a nice little scout and lab inbound here from Azuros going after a couple of those mechs. Is going to snipe away 6 mass per second from Furfur's coffers. We do see, of course, pretty much everybody has made their way to the middle of the map, bar the rearguard air slot players of Plunder and Katsu. Obviously, that would make sense because they are the rearguard air slot players. We do see that Katsu did drop off a couple of engineers to grab a little bit of the reclaim for himself to, of course, jumpstart his economic endeavors to spam out some ASF. We have a couple of flares versus a Mech Marine over here. Mech Marine does grab that last mechs of the not Tri-Star, but the Trimex position. And it does look like, of course, that attack has been destroyed and shoved away. In terms of the Combi-Com action here, looks like things are starting to be heated between Mavs sitting on the top of that hill versus JFK on the bottom. If he was somebody else with a longer range, I'd say that's probably in the book repository in Texas. And obviously there's a bunch of other comments I can make about that whole scenario. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Gun speed has been started for Furfur in the west. We do see that, of course, Azuros is holding position right next to his nice little T1 PD he's building. And it looks like it's going to be a 2v2 in the west, 2v2 in the east. And, of course, the rearguard airsoft players might join on the front lines, but at this point, I highly doubt it. We do see a little bit of attack outbound from Psycho Ad going after the frontline facilities here for Drimmer. Drimmer has decided to go it alone and continue pushing forward. We do see that Team 1 is leading the mass game at about 30, 40 mass per second more. That number keeps jumping back and forth, either due to power related or reclaim related. We do see gun damage range has been started for Zeros in the west. I think I'm going to slow it down a little bit because there are attacks happening all over the place. We do see that, of course, the forces between these two players in the west kind of just jostling back and forth. In the middle, we have Rick trying to hold off the attack from Craig. We do see a large amount of territory here for Team 2 that is unguarded, giving a lot of momentum for Team 1 to really spring out and not spam out, but spread out to that eastern flank. We do see, of course, a couple units did break through the defenses, and now Team 2's Dreamer is suffering because of it. We do see main line battles in the west here. JFK trying to hold this position, doesn't have a gun upgrade, neither does Mav. We do see that these units kind of getting bottlenecked here with the cliffside over here, and of course the units moving in to sandwich them. There are a couple of mexes in the middle that no one has gone after, and probably won't, because it's going to be very annoying to get down there. We could see, I mean, you could easily just get a transport down there, or even just an engineer, maybe distance building. Just grab a facility and just kind of bring a couple of engineers, and that's really it. But that's, 2, 4, 6, 8 mass a second in terms of Team 1 mexes. No one's getting. We do see still the attack between Mav and JFK heating up. JFK pushing it with his commander, although sends his forces back. Definitely a mistake. He's going to lose hit points very, very quickly here. He does gain 1-star veterancy, gets 10% more hit points for that. Mav working his way up to his first star. JFK dropping a lot of hit points, I'd say unnecessarily. If he didn't send his units back, he probably would have been a better way there. We do see Furfur being pushed back by Azurus' gun and damage commander now. Of course, the Aeons have to split their speed/range upgrades, so unfortunately 2 upgrades versus 1, and will favor Azuros for the time being because he has the range on board and Furfur does not. Craig being pushed back by Psycho Ad. We see Craig all by his lonesome, but he does have a gun on board, so he has a little bit extra range under his belt, and of course that will help him get his veterancy up and running. We do see some reinforcements inbound from the east to assist their commander. Range has been started for Dremmer. Team 2 is under heavy attack in all aspects, besides, I say, just the middle west over here. We do see JFK is pushing in. Gun has been started for Mav. The reclaim field has been secured for JFK. We do see Azurus again slowly pushing in ever so slightly. Some units trying to cut off any sort of reinforcements that could come to the aid of Furfur. But Furfur is at a rank of veterancy, though, so 10% more hit points for him. And Azurus just got his first rank as well. T2 has been started for Rick's commander in the front line. We do see speed on the way here for Drimmer in the east. Plunder just going after, it looks like, mechs upgrades for the time being, or just kind of hanging out next to his mexes. We do see T3 is almost done here for him. We do see that T3 is started here for Katsu. So relatively not Katsu, but Plunder a little bit ahead. I'd say probably about 30 or so seconds more for him than it is for Katsu, but maybe we'll see a first bomber. I don't really see them nowadays, unfortunately. I love the first strat bomber. I think it's an excellent play if you can pull it off. But of course, if you can't, then that's just mass that you're essentially donating to your opponent. And I do get the kind of hesitation and not going for it. We do see stealth is done here for Mav. Now he's going for nano. JFK still has not gone for his gun upgrade, but he might go for that here pretty shortly. Range is done. I just look away for a moment, and there goes the upgrade. Advanced range has been started for Furfur's commander, meaning he has the range online. Gun upgrade for Craig. Gun upgrade in T2 for Rick. Gun upgrade on the way here for Psychoad. Craig gonna not really feel that great after being bombarded by that T2 engineering suite and gun commander. Team 1 bombers coming in to soften up that commander. Takes out a decent chunk of hit points. We do see there is a PD emplacement behind Craig. If he can just get underneath that shielding, he'll be fine. Oh, drops below 500 hit points, gets rank advancement. Doesn't matter. Team 2 loses the first player of the game at 10.5 minutes, dropping this game to a 5v4. We do see, of course, Craig pushed in a little bit too far, and that was it. Very, very unfortunately for him. You see that Drimmer will gain access to what his teammate had. He now has 2 bases, but of course Team 2 is down a player, so that is a little bit less APM. You see a Drimmer still dealing with some pockets of pockets of holes. Have some open air territory over here that Team 1 is exploiting. We do see a couple of blazes online. We'll deal with those FAMs very, very easily. And he'll probably start building up some PD to protect that side of his base. We do see that stealth has been started for JFK as well, and looks like he's actually canceled that stealth upgrade. Mav looks like he's pushing in to help secure Azurus' position. Team 2's Furfur does have advanced range, getting some PD online, trying to force back Azurus' push. We do see a couple of Mongoose online for him as well. We do see a couple of labs trying to just distract Team 1. We do see those forces are pushing in westward, and Mav is pushing forward as well. His units shadowing here. We could see another comm-on-comm engagement here shortly. We do see now Team 2's Drimmer using the exact strategy that Team 1 was using for a while, and just sending his units on that eastern edge. Pulls a lot of the defenses away, and it might give some opportunities for Drimmer to attack, but looks like he's just going to shore up defenses. Looks like he's going to move into where Craig ended up dying. We do see that Azuros is in the yellow. Same thing with Furfur. T2 PD, of course, is in range, dealing with all of the units first. Azuros falling below 10,000 hit points, and Furfur falling below 6,000 hit points. Has to be very careful he doesn't get sniped by Team 1. And no, I do not see any bombers for either Team 1 or Team 2. And it's always a hope that somebody goes first bomber, but of course it's never the... it's not never, but the likelihood is very low. We do see T3 land has been built by Mav. And I think that's the only person on Team 1 that has T3 land at the moment. Oh, T3 land about to be done for Azuros. T3 not yet. T3 almost done for Psycho. Team 2 has T3 land in the form of Cybern and almost Aeon. And we do see Cybern almost done here for JFK, and Aeon is done here for Furfur. We do see Mav continuing to push against JFK's forces. It's just a huge jostling back and forth. There's these little hills that, yeah, they don't add that much to the environment, but they add a little bit more of an annoyance because some shots will miss. You can see as the shots go straight line of sight in terms of arcing, makes it a little bit difficult. We are seeing some PD being built on the hill to just try to force this group back. Yep, there is a missile launcher trying to prevent that PD from being built. The engineers killed off by Mav's overcharge will force those engineers to stop building because they're dead now. But we do see Mav is being bombarded now with JFK in range. T1 and T2 forces blitzing down that commander. He does have Nano on board, so he's able to survive some hits quite easily. And JFK is still pushing in, getting second veterancy on board in the east. Kind of just missile launcher harassment over there. In the west, units move to the western edge of the map, and the comm of Furfur trying to chase them down. We do see JFK continuing to push in with his commander. Again, that nano comm coming in very handy here. T3 Loyalist online, redirecting some missiles as he kind of walks on by. But JFK continuing to push, and there's a lot of forces still here for JFK, but unfortunately those forces are being whittled down quite quickly here. JFK trying to just do as much damage as he can to force back his opponent and give some breathing room for himself and his team. Azuros running by the commander of Furfur, actually, escaping essentially away from his range again at essentially escape velocity at that point. We do see in the east kind of things have quieted down, but Team 1 is in the lead in terms of missile launcher counts. You see now JFK is retreating because these forces are now pushing him back. They're mainly T3 now, and JFK only really has a couple of T2, but primarily T1s. JFK is at 3-star veterancy though, and will get close to 4 with a couple of these loyalist kills. And there is the last one over there. He's sitting at 3 stars at almost 15,500. Mav sitting at 17,500. And now we see, of course, JFK going at it once again against Mav. Of course, Mav still has the advantage, not only in the regen department, but in the hit point department, of course. Because, of course, he has more hit points than his opponent does. But we have some PD still in range. Mav going for a reclaim. Mav's got to get out of there, or he's going to die here. In the western side of things, still these units continue to harass Furfur on this western side. In the east, we see those missile launchers have kind of died down for the time being. inbound from Rick. And I don't see any air fights as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some here shortly. We do see a nice little radar system online. Sorry, scratch that. There was a nice radar system online for Rick. Actually, that's Plunder, excuse me, but that facility is now gone. I do like the placement, but yeah, probably needs a shield or 2 or 11. Looks like the attack in the west has been dealt with. Azuros has a little bit more time, of course, getting a nice little firebase online. Fervor continuing to push in, kills off a random engineer trying to just make some mass or scoop up some mass for his family. We do see now it's going to be more artillery wars here between the players of Rick and Drimmer. Still, really nothing's happening on that eastern side, so I'm going to speed things up a little bit because the action has really died down. Transport inbound with some engineers trying to go for the reclaim. That's not going to happen. Engineers, of course, thrown to their deaths at that point. Nano repair has been started by Psycho Ad's commander. Doesn't have to build stealth because he is a Seraphim, not a Cybran. Still, the shields are holding for the time being here for Rick, but he's really got to deal with the artillery from Team 2's trebuchets. We do see a decent amount of Ilshis running around. Drimmer doesn't really have a lot of forces online as well. I wonder what he's doing. Is he building a Colossus or Monkey or something? No, looks like he's just building some Asylums and Harbingers. There is an attack inbound here shortly. We do see in the west, Team 2 re-securing that quad mix position, but still this firebase proving very annoying for Furfur to deal with for the time being. He doesn't really have a lot of long-range weaponry to be able to deal with that. He's kind of just stuck. We do see Nano Repair has been started by JFK's commander. He's sitting at still 3 stars, and Mav still sitting at 3 stars. So they'll now match in the hit point department. A couple of units try to just edge out their opponent, but unfortunately they are caught and are driven back. We do see actually some bricks running around as well for Drimmer, again trying to secure this avenue of attack from Team 1's forces. Is anybody building experimental as of yet? I know 18 minutes is a little early, but one could be started. Laser, speaking of which, has been started here for Mav. Very interesting. Ras is almost done for Katsu. Going to help with his eco situation. Speaking of eco, Team 2 slightly behind Team 1. 960 versus 910. So about 50 mass ahead for Team 1 versus Team 2. Not really a terrible amount of mass to be ahead. That's roughly 10 mass per player for Team 1 more, which in that context it isn't too bad. We do see Katsu and Drimmer sitting on over 300 mass per second, and Plunder the only one over 300 for Team 1. Of course, Drimmer is on dual base, and the air player of Katsu, of course, he doesn't really have to worry about a whole lot. So he's focusing, of course, his eco as much as possible. We do see that firebase has now been dealt with, and Rick cuts his losses and retreats. The Omni is going to be the thing he's going to really not like losing. But we do see another radar system going to be upgraded to T3 here shortly over here for Plunder. Missile launchers over here being assaulted by some artillery. That's not going to feel good. The shield is being upgraded, so it's going to be able to fend off a couple of more incoming shots. Bricks, all you got to do is just fire one shot and we'll kill off that Omni. Rick pushes forward, takes out a unit, and then falls back. The Omni is still alive, surprisingly. Very sad to not see that be taken out. But, you know, sometimes you're focused on just taking the base out, or the offensive stuff, not necessarily the defensive stuff. We do see that Azuro's pushing forward with the shield and gun comm now, sitting at combined almost 36,000 hit points. You see, of course, Furfur still sitting on 13,000, but you know he does have the advanced range. He's about to go into range of Azuros' commander, and he's going to try to find that happy middle ground between still in range of Azuros' commander. But there are some purses nearby. Furfur dropping below really, really low. There he goes. Team 2 loses another player now on this western side, dropping this game to a 5v3. He pushed too far forward. I'm going to walk. Azuros, I'm going to walk in a second. Well, probably talking about Mav, who now has cloaking online. So now we see a lot of comm pressure here from the west from Team 1, obviously with the gun comm of Azuros. and the laser commander of Mav. Looks like Katsu gets control of Fervor's old forces. I think he should give those over to JFK so you can micro the land situation on the west side. We don't see any experimentals as of yet for Team 2. Oh, there's one Colossus that has been started, but that's over here, though. Anything for Team 1? Chicken has been started. That's actually almost in the green. And looks like that's it for Team 1 and Team 2 versus experimentals. Mav completely not having any issues here, going after all of these units, getting tons of veterancy, already at 5 stars. Team 2, all they see is a laser. They don't see the commander. The radar for the Omni is about to see him. If he moves a little bit more forward, you can see pretty much this hill. If he crosses that, that is where they will see him. Just barely outside of that Omni range, and this base is now gone. That is 8. Well, if it was fully ringed, it would be 27 mass per second, but it wasn't fully ringed. It was assisting some factories cutting down on the mass costs. We do see in the east lots of mexes going down here for Team 1's Psycho Ad. That's at least 4 mexes. 2 of them were ringed, 2 of them were not. So 12 plus another 18. That's plus 18 is 30 mass per second. We do see a 0 still pushing in. Team 2 is being forced back by commanders at this point. No huge groups of experimentals or T3. There is a decent amount of T3 units, to be fair, but it's primarily being driven by these 2 commanders, one having laser, one not having laser. We do see that Team 2 can see him, though. So a decent amount of Corsairs or gunships or something should easily be able to deal with that. There is no AA coverage here. And those gunships, they're right. He's right there. He's right there. But Team 2 kills off a Zeros. Looks like a Zeros pushed in against this PD base, and that spammed up very quickly, and there he went. Looks like Mav's still pushing in. It's now a 4v3 in favor of Team 1 still. 24 minutes almost on the clock. Team 2 could have gone for Mav with the gunships, and it looks like now that's what they're doing. They're going to go after all these loyalists. We do see forces continuing to retreat. I think it's because they want to draw their opponent in, and we do see the order for retreat has been given by Mav's commander, excuse me, not Maverick. And we do see his hit points is dropping very, very quickly here. Can he get out of Omni range? Unfortunately, that's a lot of range to really cover. And we do see the gunships are being attacked by the ASFs from Team 1. Airfight does occur heavily in favor of Katsu. And that comm will die. There he goes. The ASFs are out of range. And that is a kill here for Team 2's Katsu as well. Dropping this game now to a 3v3 overall. Team 1 now sitting on 3 players left. Team 2 on 3 players left as well. Team 1 sitting at 1.4k mass income. Team 2 1.4k as well. That number, of course, keeps jumping back and forth because of power and transitioning and all that sort of stuff. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video. Oh, I already said that part. If you haven't done so already, please share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. My brain just kept going, and it was almost like a snowball. It just kept going and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. In this case, it got louder and faster at this point. So hopefully that was intelligible for everyone. It probably wasn't for some, which I do apologize, and it wasn't really intelligible for me. So I don't know. I just kept going. It was like running downhill. Eventually, it's just like I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. We do see this attack in the east, spearheaded by this chicken. Colossus meets it. Chicken will die. Colossus might die. Oh, okay. If the Colossus doesn't keep firing on the chicken, that's okay. There it goes. It just had to line up the shot again. The Iron Storm, of course, will activate, most likely killing out the Colossus. He's going to go in for a hug. He's going in for the hug. Chicken still alive. Colossus drops into the red. Will it make it out? Yes, it will. It'll get a ranking veterancy, but will it make it out of range of the Ion Storm? It's already walking away. Ion Storm will activate now. There it goes. Gets a little bit singed on his back, but he makes it out. And the Colossus lives to fight another day. We do see now a Monkey Lord online for JFK pushing in. He has another Omni sensor as well, so they have a backup. I know they were building one up front, but At least they have a backup, so that's better than nothing. And they don't want to prevent. They want to prevent any sort of cloaking commander from doing exactly what happened earlier on. Kill it, says Mav, and looks like the monkey is the target. Percy's coming into range now. We do see some bricks and other units moving to support the monkey. The monkey in full retreat. Lots of bricks going down here. The monkey going to get some decent veterancy from this. It's already at 1 star. Percy's now going to be the main target, taking out all of that alpha damage first, and then going to deal with these Titans and Loyalists next. Looks like that's most of the Loyalists, and now it's just bricks and Percy's remaining. Bricks push forward, giving the monkey a little bit of room to work. You see more and more Percy's going down. That brick, and that brick, that monkey would almost at 2-star veterancy already. And now with this Colossus, Team 2's western side looking very, very strong. Looks like they're going to send it in. Lots of gunships online for Katsu as well, so Team 1's going to be definitely afraid of that ball. And they are the broadsword, the best air-to-ground gunship in the game. So a lot of firepower being brought to bear here shortly. But Team 1 does have Plunder, who's sitting at 800 mass per second, and Rick now at 600 mass a second. Team 2's Katsu and Drimmer sitting at 600 mass per second each. Air grid, of course, being expanded upon here for Team 1. And I do like the fact that Plunder has just a section of it over here, just in case there's a huge cascade and this goes up in flames. At least he has some sort of backup facilities. He does have another T3 air facility in the UEF tech to, of course, back up for a backup. Love to see it. In the east, we do see Rick getting on a Continental to get out of there. Transport does pick him up and gets his comm out of dodge. And that was just before that Colossus comes to stomp over his livelihood, so he does make it out with his life. Definitely great move there. It was very one of those, like, I got to do it now or I can't do it ever kind of thing. We do see air fight happens. Once again, Team 1 has a huge number of ASFs now, so it will not favor Team 2. The gunships might be the target after that. Gunships either go home or try to just act as some sort of distraction. We do see there is some AA over here for Plunder, trying to, again, whittle down those numbers. The ASFs are eliminated, and now those gunships are going to be destroyed along with them. We do see that Monkey Lord continuing to push, now up to 3-star, almost 4-star veterancy here. A couple more bricks. Actually, I think one more brick ought to do it. And quad max position going down. We do see in the east, same time, 2 Colossus continue to just steamroll through Team 1's defenses, taking out a lot of mass per second. It's now a 2,000 to 1.7k mass game so far. Team 2, you providing or pumping out any sort of specialty items that I should be aware of as the caster for this game? Colossus, I don't see any big ticket items. No. Team 1, are you producing any big ticket items? No, that's an SMD. Maybe transport waiting to move Rick's commander. Once again, do you see those bricks with the Colossus? Colossus does get stopped. This chicken does get stopped. It cuts off the reinforcements for these bricks, but the damage is going to be done. Monkey Lord moving into intercept at 5-star veterancy now. There's a Fat Boy almost going to tick over into the green, but that Pigeon looks mighty dangerous over here. The Fat Boy will go down, and that Pigeon does go down. It was very volatile. You see Rick's commander trying to hold off this attack, overcharging where he can. Tons of bricks, taking out tons of mass per second. Rick is now being targeted. This could be another kill here for Team 2, which, if it is a kill, Team 1 drops the 2 players left, but it does get plunder the rest of Rick's base. Those bricks are focusing fire on him. Rick trying to get out of range. Pigeons go down. We do see a lot of kennels over here. Those could be taken on as well. Rick looks like he might survive this. Gets a nice triple kill on that brick group and does survive. That was close. Surely we don't lose this, says Mav. I don't know. Mass income's now tied up. Rick's base is gone. He still has a T3 air facility, but there's a lot of mass, of course, to scoop up. We do see Colossus moving into Psycho Ad's base, and that Colossus just does not care. SMD going down. That was, I think, just built moments ago. Gunship horde inbound here from Plunder, and that's not going to look good for that Colossus. His LT3 land facility might go down before it dies. It does go down. Colossus got to go after something else. There's a couple of P-gens he could go after, but I think that P-gen, yep, it might survive. And Psycho Ad will be able to rebuild quite easily. Of course, his land facility headquarters is done and dusted. A couple of bricks over here rampaging the countryside here for plunder. Lots of air power for Team 1. Team 2 is going to be definitely afraid of that. Needs to get some AA defenses online sooner rather than later. We do see a couple of them over here in the Myrmidon department. We do see Drimmer getting some more Myrmidons as well as some Transcenders. And then Katsu, not as much. A lot of air staging facilities. We do see a lot of AA being built up in the middle because he's, of course, worrisome of the gunship port that is inbound. More and more facilities, more and more AA. Random wall sections littered on the map here from Craig Marine. We do see a decent amount of Harbingers, but no AA support, which means those gunships, once they come into range, that's a dead group of Harbingers. We do see a Colossus over here to the far west, though. Lots of T1 bombers inbound. Colossus already gotten to first star veterancy. Bombers actually missed the target. It's going to give a little bit of time for that Colossus to take out more mexes. We do see a decent group of Percys moving in to protect the land investments from plunder. Colossus still pushing in. The gunships, of course, going to ignore this group because the Percys have it completely handled. Mech's going to go down. Oh, Mech's going to go down. Mass income Team 1 at, that must be reclaim related, 2K versus Team 2's 2K. And still air grid being expanded upon as quickly as possible. And of course we have Rick rebuilding what he can as fast as he can. Couple of experimentals, a monkey and a Colossus walking to a bar. Second Colossus behind that. In the west, re-expansionary efforts are underway. And I don't see, oh, I see another Colossus down there. Of course, ASF building in the middle. No big ticket items so far here. 32 minutes on the clock. Kind of surprised not seeing a nuke, artillery, game ender, anything. I don't see anything of the sort as of yet. Gun splash has been started for Psycho Ed. He has nano and gun already on board. At least the regular gun, I should say. Yeah, still no big ticket items. Kind of surprised by, well, everybody in the game when we have players at 800 plus mass not even producing any sort of game ender nonsense or even nuke. ASF fight happens over Team 2's AA. There's not a lot of it there, but, you know, there's something. We do see some mobile moving into position as well. Team 1 will more than easily handle that amount of ASFs from Team 2. But, of course, the gunships are the main threat. Going to start to try to wipe out the eco for Team 2. That's the goal. We do see gunships still are dealing a lot of damage. Multiple groups of mechs is taken offline. That T3 mechs, of course, is fine. But their main goal, the mass income for Katsu, is in range. T3 AA, of course, has been built. But there's a lot of gunships. That grid is very vulnerable to cascading. We do see those whalers going after the T3 P-gens. There goes one. And the wave will commence. There goes another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. We do see more ASFs trying to intercept all that AA coming into range now. There goes another P-gen. T3 mechs targeted as well. Lots of AA has been built and is continuing to be built. Whalers trying to get out of range of the rest of it. They do get out of range. Oh, there's a couple more. Looks like the remaining whalers do get out of range. Half of that air grid is down. T3 air facility was taken out, which means Team 2 no longer has T3 air technology in the form of Katsu's UEF air forces. We do see a couple of whalers still alive. Got to send whatever ASF's in to deal with that. We do see some AA has been spammed up over here. They are able to target one of them. Of course, once that whaler kind of trickles back into range, there it goes. But of course, Team 1, I mean, they lost all their ASFs, but they took out, again, half the air grid, and a decent amount of the mechs is dropping this game to a 1.7k game. We do see in the east, though, that dual Colossus and Monkey now pushing through Psycho at base. He's dead and gone at this point. He has really nothing to his name and will lose the rest of whatever he has to his name. And Psycho Ed can sense it and he goes, I want to go out in a blaze of glory. Monkey Lord going to avoid him. Colossus going to avoid him, but this one does not. Psycho Ad barely gets in range. Overcharge comes in. not as soon as I would expect it to. And there he goes. Team 1 loses another player. It's now a 3v2 in favor of Team 2. So while Team 1 was distracted with going after the eco and the air grid, Team 2 heavily pushed in. And there goes another set of mexes here for Team 1's. It looks like those are Ricks, actually. Gunships are inbound. They are whalers, of course. I would like to see some broadswords inbound, though, because Team 1 does have... Oh, they're over here. They're building, which is not as many as I would expect to see. Colossus now being bombarded. Of course, the AA is the main target. And then once you kill everything that can shoot at you, you kill everything else, because an easy way to incur less losses. We do see in the west a ground assault happens at the same time, so counterattack happening on the western edge. We do see that Colossi now moving in back to Rick's position. He's being bombarded this game. We do see Rick holding position, going for another Fat Boy. Colossus about to go down. Not Fat Boy, sorry, Monkey Lord about to go down. Colossus now in range of the shields. We have a couple of T1 Pigeons ringing some E-storages. T3 Pigeon going to go offline, taking out the SMD. Colossus about to get in range of that Fat Boy. T2 land facility going to go down. Fat Boy does get singed a little bit, but it's perfectly fine. Bricks moving in. The second Fat Boy does get finished. Rick now moving out of range, and the rest of these units are just going to be child's play to all of those gunships. And in the west, still the attack occurs, but it's slowed down quite considerably. They've taken out that Trimex and production facility, but there's a lot of defenses that Team 1 has to chew through, and of course there's a lot of AA that's been built. Not that that really plays into anything right now because it's a land battle, but, you know, gunships can't easily come help because there's just a lot of AA to chew through. Bricks, though, providing some nice entertainment for these other bricks over here, while this Colossus group being 1, deals with these Perseus, which is taking a while to do. And there's a little bit AoE on the lasers, so those two go down quite easily. That one gets grabbed, and that Colossus is still alive, about to get this 2-star veterancy here. And that Percy is now dealt with. There's still Percy in his clutches. There's a brick still firing while it's being grabbed. We do see bricks trying to push through, but it's not going to be enough. Looks like some Pigeons are desperately needed for Katsu's eco. And Drimmer now the mass leader of the game, almost 1,000 mass to his name per second. We do see a lot of AA over here. Lots of missiles inbound going after the Omni. They grab it. Great grab here by Team 1. Sorry, by Team 2 on Team 1, taking out the intel operations and also taking out all of the Team D as well. More and more Team D are going to be built to protect the Omni, but unfortunately, I'm assuming there's more missiles are going to be thrown. There's a lot of missiles over here. And everything's kind of quieted down for the most part. Of course, there was attack, also kind of the remnants of that old land battle. Lots of bangers, lots of flak over here for Drimmer, sitting at 66 of them with an additional 9 ascendants. I don't see any T3. There is another Colossus over here. But still, flak is really what you need to deal with the gunships because, of course, the flak kind of sits in the air for a little bit and rips apart all of those air units. There is another Fat Boy being built and about to be finished here for the UEA player of Rick. We have the experimental T4 mobile artillery of the Scathus under construction for Team 1. Team 2, what are you doing? Rebuilding the air grid for Katsu. Building an emissary currently, about to tick over into the green there, if I can speak correctly. And there's another artillery installation over here. So Team 2 going for the T3 route, while Team 1's going for the T4 route. I think it's time to speed this up just a little smidgen more. Going to go to +2 for the time being, because everything's really quieted down. Another missile volley is inbound, trying to be ripped apart. But, of course, the issue with Cybran missiles is if they're shot, they split. So even if you take out most of the damage from the missile, there's still some that can bleed on through. Another volley inbound. Looks like it's going northward. Either it's going for the wreck or it's going for mexes. It looks like it's going to go for the... Oh, no, it's going to keep going. Never mind. It's going to go for the Fat Boy, I guess it was trying to go after. And it looks like the Fat Boy's already moved. How's the artillery doing? Emissary is done. Second one is now under construction. Does Team 2 know about the Scathis? No, they do not. They know where the comm is, though, but I do know what their target is going to be. The air grid, and here come the shots. They are inbound, targeting the T3 air headquarters. There goes the first shot. Impacts, takes out an air facility and some engineers assisting it. Another volley should be inbound. There it is. I love watching these things sail in. They're very entertaining. Shield's going to be built immediately, and secondary, tertiary air grid's going to be built. The hydrocarbon goes down. There it goes. PGen goes down. Looks like Team 2 is trying to take out the air facility to lock out the Cybern side of Air Forces, at least the T3 department. And there it goes. It's about to land. It does essentially impact that air facility, taking it out, locking out any more Cybern ASFs or gunships until that facility is rebuilt. Great snipe here by Team 2's Drimmer. We should see that second artillery online here shortly. Yep, there it is. It is halfway done for JFK. He has a crab online. SMDs as well to cover him. SMDs over here. Looks like there's 2 SMDs essentially flanking the huge air grid over here. Secondary artillery is already half done. Drimmer is pumping those things out. Katsu builds an experimental URUEF. Did you build what I think you built? Where is it? I don't see it. So I don't think he built it. Oh, he built the Colossus. No, I thought he built a satellite. There goes a chunk of the air grid. Looks like it's now targeting this air grid. That pigeon is dead and gone. Scath is halfway done. Team 2 needs to get some eyes up there. Of course, once it's done, they'll know once the artillery starts raining in. T3 air facility trying to be built again, but some of the engineers get taken out. Slows down the upgrading process. Team 2 being hemmed in by Team 1's Air Forces and Fat Boys. There are 3 Fat Boys here looking to be a little bit dangerous in terms of the critical mass situation. Emissary fires once again. Gonna land right where those mexes are. There it goes. Bye, mex. See you later. Land fight over here. 2 crabs and a Colossus. Colossus is going to get some veterancy and almost get to 1 star once those, well, I was going to say once those Percies pretty much die off, but they retreat for the time being. In terms of the main base scenario, Team 2 looks a lot better, just a lot more structures alive for them than Team 1. Yeah, they might just look like they're all spread out, but they are densely packed in there, kind of citying it a little bit. We do see, of course, another shot is inbound. Going to take out a... No, it's going to barely miss that T3 mix. There it goes. How's the Scathis doing? It's in the green, 75% complete. Looks like there's 2 emissaries online. Yes, it is. Second one is done. How is the Disruptor doing? That's almost done. Team 2 almost has 3 artillery online. And, of course, now the emissaries are targeting the other air grid, or the main air grid, I should say. There we go. Oh, that facility barely gets saved. That one does not, though. Another chunk of facilities go down. Scathis is done. Almost done. Go, says Katsu. Looks like the land fight will commence. Team 2 does have a lot of AA in the mix as well. Gunships have moved into position. Essentially, Team 1's saving grace is that Scathis, if they lose that, that's game over. It looks like Team 2 has spotted it. Well, they've spotted something up there. And the shields are offline. Scathis still under construction. Maybe those could have just been some wide shots or something. I don't know. Shields are underway. Oh, shots barely miss. Land fight continues. Colossus lead the way. Crabs behind it. Another Colossus inbound. Move fatties to the left. You're killing NGs, says Mav. 2 allies. You see 2 Fat Boys move. Not Fat Boys. 2 Colossi moving in. Going to go after the Fat Boys. Is that a third? That's another artillery installation. Excuse me. So Team 2's Drimmer has now 1, 2, 3 of them, and soon to be 4. JFK building his second soon. We do see that artillery still raining in. How's that Scathis doing? It's in the green. Well, it's been in the green for a while. It's almost done. It's essentially over 90% complete. Here comes another air fight. Team 1 sends it in, or sorry, Team 2 sends it in to go after the ASF and gunships. Colossus is down. Second one is down. Third one is online, though. There's a lot of AA still for Team 2 to use to deal with those ASF. And those ASFs are not really doing much. The gunships are sitting on the ground. That's never a good thing, especially with the Colossus en route. And there goes that gunship order, but now here comes the AA just spamming out their missiles. So that Colossus may just be the last thing that dies, or possibly dies, to that gunship horde. You see in the north, the Scathis is done. First shots are firing. They are away. And there's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artillery emplacements online for Team 2. I'm assuming the air grid is the target. My mouse is dying. You can see it kind of just stop operating for a little bit. One of the benefits of the mice that I use, it's like, oh yeah, your mouse is dying, so we'll kind of give you control over it, but we'll keep essentially pinging you every 5 seconds to say, hey, your mouse is dying. I've switched to I have a backup mouse just for these kinds of scenarios. Anyways, half of that air grid is now down. Katsu really just feeling the pain there with the air grid situation. We do see cloaking has been started for Plunder's commander, but that land force is inbound and it is not going anywhere. Go, 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 Scathis, go. That's what Katsu is going at. It's like, hey, that Scathis is online. You got to go for it now. It's now or never. Calm building a cloaking and laser. Oh, we built the cloaking upgrade. Now building the laser upgrade. It's now done. Going to build the speed and range upgrade. There he goes. He's cloaked up, ready to go. Going to defend his Scathis to the death. My mates died too soon, says Rick. I wouldn't say they died too soon. It just didn't help they died one after the other. Had there been a little bit of time between the deaths, it wouldn't make a difference. At least the first two. The third one, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell like when is a good time to die. I guess there is a good time to die at some points, but with 5 artillery pieces online, soon to be 6, it's really hard to deal with that amount of firepower, especially with the land situation operating as it is. You can see the comm holding out. Laser goes in the air for a second. No idea where that's going. Comm trying to hold out. I will protect you to the last. Shields trying to hold as much as they can. Shields are down. Scathis is targeted and will go down. Colossus was too much for Team 1 to bear. And Comm continues to do as much damage as he can to nearby units. But the game is over. His air grid is essentially gone. And this game is over. Let's see, does the artillery hit him? Nope, just barely misses him. Team 2 is still not targeting the commander because they just can't see him. They don't have a signature on that commander. They do have that one for Rick, though. Rick is dead. He senses the end, of course. Tries to get some kills before he dies, but there's no hope of that. And it's now a 1v3 game. Looks like Wonder trying to take out the crab. Looks like Team 2 sees him for a brief moment. Looks like he sees him now. Looks like they have some spy planes in the air. Ground firing, trying to kill off that commander. That comm is going to die here shortly. Yep, there he goes. He's being ground fired quite heavily. And he's gone. There he goes. Team 1 loses their last player. And that is a win for Team 2 at 46 minutes and 44 seconds. MVP for this match definitely goes to Drimmer. He drove a lot of the damage on the land side of things for Team 2. Essentially knocked out their entire eastern front. Then said, okay, I've done enough damage. Held back, went for artillery. And he actually built, he built 2 more because he had the mats for it. He built 6 artillery pieces. There were 7 built, almost 8. And, I mean, did a really good job. He had a little bit of some issues in the beginning with raiding and trying to run by, or Team 1 run buying his defenses. But for the most part, he did really, really, really good job mid to late to end game. And those 2 emissaries really drove home a lot of the damage that Team 1 was inflicted upon. Of course, we had JFK really solid on the western side, looked very, Not great when he was fighting off with Mav for a little bit, but after that, he held back, did a very good job with defenses, and continued to push in. Like I said, even if this Western land battle didn't even happen, like there were no forces, they were just defending or whatever, this Eastern side would have come in and wiped him out anyway, especially with the artillery that was coming in. So I do think Dremmer gets the vote for MVP in my book. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with that or not. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching to the very, very end, and I will see all of you in the next one.